I stared at my reflection in the mirror, adjusting my blazer for the 100th time while my daughter Sasha twirled around the bathroom in her princess dress. The irony wasn't lost on me. Here I was, prepping for the biggest interview of my career, and my usually reliable babysitter had just texted to cancel. Single mom life at its finest. "Mommy, can I wear this to Aunt Livia's?" Sasha asked, her big brown eyes sparkling with hope. "Of course, sweetie." I smiled, though my stomach was in knots. I'm Violet, and at 32, I've learned that sometimes the universe forces you to make choices you'd rather avoid. Like calling my younger sister Livia for help. The doorbell chimed, and Sasha raced to answer it. "Aunt Livia!" "There's my favorite niece." Livia's voice carried that familiar sugar-sweet tone that always set my teeth on edge. She swept in wearing designer clothes that probably cost more than my monthly rent. "Thanks for doing this on such short notice," I said, gathering my interview materials. "I really appreciate it." "Oh, please." Livia waved her hand dismissively. "What are sisters for? Besides, Mom would kill me if I didn't help out her only grandchild." I bit back a response about how she'd canceled on us 3 times before. "Sasha's already had breakfast. There's lunch in the fridge, and emergency numbers are on the—" "Violet, relax," Livia interrupted, dropping her expensive handbag on my worn couch. "I've got this. It's not rocket science." "Right." I knelt down to hug Sasha. "Be good for Aunt Livia, okay? Mommy will be back before dinner." "Can we play dress up?" Sasha asked Livia, clutching her aunt's designer jeans. "Sure, sweetie. We'll have so much fun." Livia's smile didn't quite reach her eyes. I hesitated at the door, my hand lingering on the knob. Something felt off, but I couldn't put my finger on it. "Oh, and Livia? Please don't leave the apartment. Sasha's been fighting a cold." "God, you're such a worrywart," Livia laughed. "We'll be fine. Go ace that interview." As I walked to my car, my phone buzzed. It was Todd, my best friend and voice of reason. "You actually left Sasha with Livia?" His disbelief crackled through the speaker. "I didn't have a choice," I said, starting the engine. "Besides, she's family." "Yeah, the same family that borrowed your prom dress and returned it with wine stains. The same sister who—" I know. I cut him off. "But she's changed. Mom says she's really grown up since getting that job at the gallery." Todd snorted. "Your mom still thinks Livia's finger painting should be in the Louvre. It's just for a few hours," I insisted, pulling onto the highway. "What's the worst that could happen?" "With Livia? Do you want that list alphabetically or chronologically?" I laughed despite my anxiety. "I've got to focus on this interview. The promotion would mean everything. Better hours, better pay, maybe even a house with a yard for Sasha." "Just be careful," Todd said. "And call me after?" I promised I would, and hung up, trying to push away the nagging doubt in my gut. Through my rearview mirror, I could see my apartment building shrinking in the distance. The last thing I noticed was Livia's face at my living room window, phone pressed to her ear, watching me drive away. My keys felt heavy in my hand as I dropped them into my purse. The emergency cash I kept hidden in my bedroom drawer flashed through my mind. $2,000 saved over countless overtime shifts. But this was Livia, my little sister, the golden child who could do no wrong, at least in our parents' eyes. Still, as I merged onto the interstate, I couldn't shake the memory of last Christmas, when Mom's antique bracelet went missing during Livia's visit. Or the time my credit card showed mysterious charges after I'd let her crash on my couch for a weekend. Everyone had brushed it off. Mom said I was being paranoid. Dad suggested I was just jealous of Livia's success. But as I pulled into the parking lot of the office building where my interview awaited, I sent up a silent prayer that I was wrong about the unease churning in my stomach. That for once, Livia would prove everyone right about her being the perfect, responsible sister she pretended to be. If only I'd known then what was happening back at my apartment, I would have turned that car around so fast. But hindsight, as they say, is 20/20, and some lessons you have to learn the hard way. The interview had gone perfectly. I practically floated up the stairs to my apartment, already imagining how I'd celebrate with Sasha. Maybe ice cream or that new Disney movie she'd been begging to see. But the moment I opened my door, my heart stopped. Sasha. My voice echoed through the eerily quiet apartment. Livia? A small sniffle came from the direction of Sasha's room. I found her curled up on her bed, still in her princess dress, now stained with what looked like chocolate ice cream. Baby, what's wrong? Where's Aunt Livia? She left, Sasha whispered, wiping her nose with her sleeve. A long time ago. She said she'd be right back, but... The room spun. She left you alone? For how long? After lunch. Her friend called, and she said she had to go shopping. Sasha's lower lip trembled. I was scared, Mommy. I pulled her into my arms, fury building in my chest. It's okay, baby. You're safe now. Did you eat dinner? She shook her head. I didn't want to use the stove by myself. My 5-year-old had more sense than my 28-year-old sister. I kissed Sasha's forehead and tried to keep my voice steady. Let's get you something to eat. And then... The words died in my throat as I walked into the living room. Really looked at it this time. My laptop was missing from the coffee table. The vintage vase Mom had given me for my birthday. Gone. With trembling hands, I rushed to my bedroom. The dresser drawer was open, the false bottom displaced. My emergency cash was gone. No, no, no. I yanked open my jewelry box. Empty. Even the pearl necklace Grandma had left me. My phone buzzed. A text from Livia. Sorry, sis. Had an emergency. Hope the interview went well. I called her immediately. Straight to voicemail. You've reached Livia. Leave some love. Where the hell are you? I snarled into the phone. You left my daughter alone? And you stole from me? Answer your damn phone. I called Todd next, my hands shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. She did what? His voice cracked with disbelief. I can't even... I was hyperventilating. She left Sasha alone for hours. Hours, Todd, and she took everything. I'm coming over. Have you called the police? Not yet. God, what will Mom and Dad say? Screw what they say. This isn't about their precious golden child anymore. She left a 5-year-old alone and robbed you blind. Call the cops. Now. After hanging up, I found Sasha in the kitchen, attempting to make a sandwich. My heart broke all over again. Baby, I'm so sorry, I whispered, taking over sandwich duty. This is all my fault. Is Aunt Livia in trouble? Yes, sweetie. Big trouble. As if on cue, something crinkled under my foot. A receipt, partially hidden under the fridge. I picked it up. Nordstrom, time-stamped 3 hours ago. Over $2,000 in purchases. Exactly the amount from my emergency fund. My phone buzzed again. Mom. Violet, why are you calling your sister's phone nonstop? She just told me she had to leave Sasha with you early because of food poisoning. Poor thing's been sick all afternoon. The sandwich knife clattered into the sink. What? She's resting at our house now. Really, Violet, you should be more understanding. She did you a favor? A favor? I laughed, a harsh, bitter sound. Mom, she abandoned my daughter. Alone. For hours. And she stole from me. Silence. Then, don't be ridiculous. Livia would never... Check her shopping bags, Mom. The ones she probably brought over. Check the timestamps on the receipts. Better yet, ask her where she got the money for her shopping spree. You're just jealous, Mom snapped. You've always been jealous of your sister's success. I'm sure this is all a misunderstanding. I hung up. Sasha was watching me with wide eyes, her sandwich forgotten. Mommy, are you crying? I touched my cheek. Sure enough, it was wet. But these weren't sad tears anymore. They were angry ones. My phone buzzed one final time. A social media notification. Livia had just posted a photo of herself at some rooftop bar, sporting a new designer outfit, tagged with, "Treating myself, blessed life." That's when I remembered the security camera I'd installed last month, after a string of break-ins in the building. The one pointed right at my living room, recording 24/7 to my cloud storage. "Todd?" I called him back, my voice steel-edged. "Before you come over, I need you to stop and get me a USB drive. A big one. I've got some footage to download." The golden child's reign was about to end, and I was going to be the one holding the match that burned her crown. Todd arrived 30 minutes later, finding me at my kitchen table with my backup laptop. Sasha finally asleep in her room after the emotional day. He placed a USB drive and a pint of ice cream in front of me. "Thought you might need both," he said, pulling up a chair. "I filed the police report," I said, logging into my cloud storage. "But we both know how this will play out. Mom and Dad will defend her, probably offer to pay me back themselves, and Livia will cry her way out of consequences. Again. Unless," Todd gestured to my laptop, "unless I have proof." I clicked on today's footage. Concrete, undeniable proof. The security camera's view filled the screen. There was Livia, checking her phone the moment I left. She made a call immediately. "Hey, babe." Her voice crackled through the speakers. "She's gone. Yeah. I know where she keeps it. No, the kid won't be a problem." Todd's hand clenched into a fist. Jesus. We watched as Livia rummaged through my bedroom, emerging triumphant with the cash. She stuffed it into her designer purse, then systematically went through the apartment, collecting my valuables. "Aunt Livia?" Sasha's voice came through clearly. "I'm hungry. Here's some money, sweetie. Order a pizza." Livia tossed a 20 on the table, out of Sasha's reach. "But Mommy says I'm not supposed to answer the door when—" "Then make a sandwich or something. I've got to run. Don't tell your mom, okay? It'll be our little secret." The footage showed Livia leaving, the door clicking behind her. Sasha stood in the middle of the living room, looking lost. "I'm going to be sick," I muttered. "Keep watching," Todd said grimly. 3 hours of footage showed Sasha trying to entertain herself, getting increasingly anxious as time passed. She tried calling Livia multiple times from the landline. No answer. "I've seen enough." I stopped the playback, my hands trembling with rage. My phone lit up with a text from Khalil, my former colleague. "Hey, heard about the interview. Drinks to celebrate? Can you come over instead?" I texted back. "Need your expertise on something." Khalil arrived 20 minutes later, his IT background proving invaluable as he helped me download and format the footage. "We should make copies," he suggested, his fingers flying over the keyboard. "Multiple formats, stored in different places. Cloud backup, USB drives, everything." "You think she'll try to delete it?" "If she's smart." He glanced at me. "But from what you've told me, she's not used to covering her tracks. She's used to getting away with things." My phone buzzed again. Dad this time. "Violet, this has gone too far," he started without preamble. "Your mother is beside herself. Livia's crying her eyes out." "Is she?" I cut in. "Is she crying about abandoning her niece? About stealing from her sister? Or is she crying because she finally got caught?" "She says she had an emergency." "Put her on the phone." A pause, then Livia's voice, trembling perfectly. "Vi, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be gone so long. I got sick, and then my phone died. Save it." I watched Khalil give me a thumbs up as he finished backing up the footage. "How was the rooftop bar, Livia?" "Must have been fun, spending my emergency fund on cocktails." "What? I don't know what you're talking about." "Check your Instagram. Or should I do it for you? Show Mom and Dad the timestamps? Better yet, should I show them the security footage of you robbing me blind and abandoning my daughter?" Silence. "That's right, sis. Every moment. In high definition. With audio." You were recording me?" Her voice turned sharp, indignant. That's illegal. Actually, Khalil called out, loud enough for her to hear. Security cameras in private residences are perfectly legal in this state, especially when there's clear signage in the building entrance. More silence. Then Dad's voice returned. Violet, let's discuss this as a family. Come over tomorrow. We can sort this out. Sure, I said, surprising them both. Family meeting sounds perfect. I'll bring snacks. Maybe we can watch a movie together. I hung up before they could respond. You're really going to show them? Todd asked. Every second. I closed my laptop. They want to keep pretending she's perfect? Fine. Let them watch their perfect daughter in action. Khalil handed me a USB drive. It's all backed up. But Violet, are you sure about this? Family drama like this? Once it's out there? She left my daughter alone, I said quietly. Scared and hungry. She stole the money I saved for emergencies. For Sasha's emergencies. She's not getting away with it this time. I looked at the USB drive in my hand, thinking of all the times I'd stayed quiet. All the times I'd let Livia's behavior slide to keep the peace. Tomorrow, I said, the golden child loses her shine. Todd and Khalil exchanged glances, but I didn't care. For the first time in years, I felt powerful. In control. Let them all see who Livia really was. Let them try to explain this away. The truth was about to have its day. The next morning, I dropped Sasha at her friend Emma's house for a playdate. No way was I exposing her to the incoming family drama. As I pulled into my parents' driveway, Khalil's car was already there. Moral support, he said, falling into step beside me. Plus, I figured they might need someone to explain the technical aspects of the footage. You know, in case they try to claim it's fake. My hand tightened around the USB drive in my pocket. They would try that, wouldn't they? Before I could ring the doorbell, Mom threw the door open. Her face was pinched with worry, but her voice was pure steel. Violet, I hope you're ready to apologize to your sister. Oh, I'm ready for something all right. I walked past her into the living room. Dad sat in his usual armchair, while Livia perched on the couch looking like a martyred saint in an expensive white dress. Her eyes were red-rimmed, probably spent all morning practicing her crying routine. Who's this? Dad gestured to Khalil. IT specialist, Khalil said smoothly, setting up his laptop. I'm here to verify the authenticity of the security footage. Livia's face went chalk white. This is ridiculous, Mom huffed. We don't need to. Actually, we do. I pulled out the USB drive. Because I'm done pretending. Done watching everyone make excuses for her. Done being the bad guy for calling out her behavior. Vi, please, Livia whispered, tears already forming. I said I was sorry. Sorry you got caught, you mean? I nodded to Khalil, who connected his laptop to the TV. Let's watch what sorry looks like. The footage started playing. The room fell silent, except for the audio from the TV. We all watched Livia's phone call, her methodical theft, her casual abandonment of Sasha. Mom's hand flew to her mouth when she saw the money being stolen. Dad's face grew darker with each passing minute. But it was the footage of Sasha, alone and scared, that finally broke them. Turn it off, Dad growled after watching Sasha try to call Livia for the third time. I've seen enough, but there's 3 more hours. I said turn it off. He rounded on Livia. How could you? She's 5 years old. Livia burst into tears. Real ones this time. I was going to come right back. But then Jessica called about this amazing sale. A sale? Mom's voice cracked. You left your niece alone for a sale? And stole my emergency fund to shop with, I added. Don't forget that part. I was going to pay it back. Livia stood up, mascara running. Vi's always so uptight about money, and I knew she wouldn't understand. Understand what? I stepped closer. Understand that you're a thief? That you're so selfish you'd put my daughter in danger for a shopping spree? That's not fair. I'm not. Not what? Not responsible? Not trustworthy? Not the perfect daughter everyone thinks you are? Violet, Mom started, but Dad held up his hand. No, Margaret. Not this time. He turned to Livia. Where's the money? I spent it. And the jewelry? Livia's eyes darted to her oversized purse. Dad snatched it before she could stop him, dumping the contents onto the coffee table. Out tumbled my grandmother's pearls, along with other pieces I'd thought were gone forever. You brought them here? I stared at her. Were you going to hide them in Mom's jewelry box? Make me think I'd lost them? Her silence was answer enough. The police report's already filed, I said quietly. But I'm willing to drop it if you pay me back. Every cent. And you stay away from my daughter. You can't do that, Livia looked wildly at our parents. Mom, Dad, tell her she can't. Can't what? Dad's voice was ice. Can't protect her child? Can't demand justice for theft? What exactly can't she do, Livia? My phone buzzed. A text from Todd. How's it going? Need backup? It's done, I typed back. The crown's not just tarnished. It's shattered. Looking up, I watched my sister crumple onto the couch, her perfect facade finally broken. Mom had sunk into Dad's chair, aging years in minutes. Dad was writing a check with shaking hands. This covers the cash, he said, holding it out to me. We'll sell her car for the rest. Daddy, no, Livia wailed. Enough. His shout made us all jump. You're 28 years old, Livia. It's time you learned actions have consequences. I took the check, then gathered my grandmother's pearls from the table. Khalil quietly packed up his laptop. I'll see myself out, I said, pausing at the door. Oh, and Livia? Next time you're short on cash, try getting a job. It's what the rest of us do. The door closed on her fresh sobs. But for once, I didn't feel guilty. Some lessons have to hurt to be learned. And this one was long overdue. 3 days passed in a blur of missed calls and emotional text messages from Mom. Dad had sold Livia's car, as promised, but the aftermath was messier than I'd expected. I was picking up Sasha from school when my phone buzzed with yet another family bombshell. Have you seen Livia's Facebook post? Todd's voice was tense. I blocked her on everything. I buckled Sasha into her car seat. Why? She's playing victim. Hard. Claims you set her up, installed the camera to trap her, that you're trying to ruin her life because you're jealous. Your mom's commenting in support. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. Of course she is. There's more. She's saying you've always tried to turn the family against her, that you're using Sasha to manipulate everyone. Using my daughter? The words came out as a snarl. The one she abandoned? Mommy? Sasha's voice came from the back seat. Are you mad? I forced a smile into the rearview mirror. No, baby. Just grown-up stuff. When we got home, Khalil was waiting outside my apartment. You've got company, he warned. Your mom's been here for 20 minutes. Great. Just great. Sasha, honey, why don't you go with Uncle Khalil to get ice cream? I handed him my keys. Use the back entrance. Once they were gone, I climbed the stairs to find Mom pacing outside my door. Finally, she rushed toward me. We need to talk about this vendetta against your sister. Vendetta? I unlocked my door, letting her follow me inside. You mean holding her accountable? She's devastated. The car was her independence, and now? My emergency fund was Sasha's safety net, I cut in. But Livia didn't care about that when she stole it, did she? She made a mistake. No, Mom. A mistake is forgetting to return a phone call. A mistake is running a red light. What Livia did was a choice. Multiple choices, actually. All of them selfish. All of them cruel. Mom sank onto my couch. She's talking about moving away. Says she can't handle the family tension. You mean she can't handle consequences? Why are you being so hard on her? I pulled up Livia's Facebook post on my phone and thrust it at her. Why are you defending this? She's lying about me, about the situation, and you're supporting it. Mom read the post, her face paling. She's just hurt. Hurt? I'll tell you about hurt. I pulled up the security footage on my TV. Watch it again. Watch your granddaughter spend hours alone, scared, calling for help that never came. That's hurt, Mom. The footage played. This time, Mom didn't look away. She could have been injured, I continued. She could have tried to cook something and started a fire. A stranger could have come to the door. Do you understand what could have happened? Tears rolled down Mom's cheeks. I don't know how we got here. We got here because you and Dad never said no to her. Because she never had to face consequences. Because it was easier to believe her lies than admit she wasn't perfect. My phone buzzed with a text from Todd. Livia's live on Instagram, crying about family betrayal. Comments are getting ugly. Let her cry, I said aloud. Let her post. Let her play victim. The truth is already out there. Mom stood up, wringing her hands. What do you want me to do? Stop enabling her. Stop defending her. Let her face reality for once in her life. And if she really does leave, then she leaves. But she doesn't get to rewrite history on her way out. She doesn't get to make me the villain in her story. A key turned in the lock. Khalil and Sasha returning with ice cream. Mom quickly wiped her eyes. Grandma! Sasha ran to her, chocolate already smeared on her face. Want some ice cream? Mom hugged her tight, too tight. No, sweetheart. Grandma needs to go home and think about some things. At the door, she paused. Violet? I'm sorry. Not just for today, but for a lot of things. After she left, Khalil showed me his phone. Livia's Instagram live had ended, but the comments remained. People weren't buying her story. Former classmates, old co-workers, they were sharing their own experiences with her manipulation. The truth has a way of coming out, he said quietly. I watched Sasha happily eating her ice cream, safe and loved, and completely unaware of the family drama swirling around her. That's how it should be. She deserved better than what Livia had done, better than what my parents had enabled. Let Livia post what she wants, I said. The security footage doesn't lie, and neither do her actions. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting someone's true colors show. And show they had, in vivid, undeniable detail. A week later, my phone lit up with the news I'd been waiting for. I got the promotion. As I sat at my desk reading the offer letter, another email popped up. From Dad. Family dinner tonight. Non-negotiable. Your sister's making an announcement. My stomach clenched. I called Todd immediately. She's probably announcing she's moving to Paris or something equally dramatic, he said. Whatever it is, I'm not going alone. You free tonight? Wouldn't miss it. Want me to bring popcorn? I arrived at my parents' house with Todd and Khalil flanking me like bodyguards. Sasha was at a sleepover. I wasn't taking chances with family drama tonight. Livia's car was gone from the driveway, replaced by a beat-up Honda Civic. The sight gave me a grim satisfaction. Mom opened the door, her smile strained. Violet, I didn't know you were bringing guests. Support system, I said, walking past her. Since Livia brought her flying monkeys last time, the living room was tense. Dad sat in his usual chair, looking tired. Livia perched on the couch, wearing significantly less expensive clothes than usual, her designer bag replaced by a canvas tote. Really? She snapped when she saw Todd and Khalil. You brought backup? Witnesses, Todd corrected cheerfully. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. M. Dinner was awkward. Mom's usually perfect pot roast was overcooked, and nobody seemed interested in small talk. Finally, Dad cleared his throat. Livia, you said you had something to tell us? She straightened up, hands clasped dramatically in her lap. Yes. I've I've been doing a lot of thinking about everything that happened. You mean everything you did, I muttered. Todd kicked me under the table. I've started therapy, Livia continued, ignoring me. And I've realized some things about myself, about my behavior patterns. Mom beamed. That's wonderful, sweetheart. I'm also... Livia took a deep breath. I'm moving out of my apartment, into a shared house with roommates. It's all I can afford now, thanks to certain people. Her eyes shot daggers at me. Thanks to your own actions, Dad corrected firmly. Continue. Right. Well, she shifted uncomfortably. Part of my therapy is making amends. So, I'm sorry, Violet, for taking the money and the jewelry and leaving Sasha alone. It was wrong. The words sounded rehearsed, empty. Before I could respond, she pulled an envelope from her tote. Here's the first payment. I got a job at a coffee shop. It's not much, but I'll pay back everything. Eventually. I opened the envelope. $200. A fraction of what she'd stolen. How noble, I said flatly. Is this the part where we all hug and pretend everything's fine? Violet, Mom warned. No, let her speak, Dad interrupted. She has the right. You're damn right I do. I stood up, hands pressed against the table. You want to make amends? Start by taking down those lying social media posts. Admit publicly what you did. Stop playing victim while painting me as the villain. Those posts are my truth, Livia shot back. My feelings are valid. Your feelings? I laughed incredulously. What about Sasha's feelings? Want to hear the nightmares she's had? How she's afraid to be alone now? Livia's face crumpled. That's not fair. I'm trying here. Trying to save face, maybe. Khalil spoke up quietly. Real remorse doesn't come with a social media campaign. Nobody asked you, Livia snapped. Actually, Dad said, he's right. Taking responsibility means accepting the full consequences, Livia, including damage to your reputation. But no buts. Dad's voice was firm. If you're serious about making amends, start with the truth. All of it. Silence fell over the table. Livia's hands trembled as she pulled out her phone. We all watched as she navigated to her social media accounts. Fine, she whispered, and began typing. Moments later, our phones buzzed with a notification. Her new post was simple. Stark. I need to correct my previous statements. I stole from my sister and abandoned my niece. The security footage was real. My actions were inexcusable. I'm sorry for lying and trying to shift blame. I'm getting help and working to make things right. Now delete the other posts, I said. One by one, her previous accusations disappeared. Happy now? She asked bitterly. No, I replied honestly. But it's a start. Mom tried to salvage the evening with dessert, but I'd lost my appetite. As we left, Dad pulled me aside. She's trying, he said softly. Is she? Or is she just trying to repair her image? He sighed. Time will tell. But Violet, I'm proud of you. For standing your ground. For demanding better. I hugged him briefly, then joined Todd and Khalil outside. Well, Todd said as we walked to our cars. That was a performance, I finished. But at least now everyone knows which version is real. The truth was out there, permanently. Whether Livia's remorse was genuine or not, she couldn't hide from it anymore. And neither could anyone else. 2 weeks after the dinner, I was helping Sasha with her homework when someone knocked on our apartment door. Through the peephole, I saw Livia, wearing a coffee shop uniform, looking nothing like her former polished self. What do you want? I called through the door. To talk. Please, Vi. 5 minutes. I opened the door but blocked the entrance. Talk. She held out another envelope. This week's payment. Plus, she pulled something else from her bag. Sasha's baby book. I found it when I was packing up my apartment. I took it years ago because I was jealous of you being a mom, of how Dad looked at Sasha. My hand shook as I took the worn pink album. You stole her baby book? I told you. I'm trying to make things right. Her voice cracked. Can I see her? No. Vi, please. You lost that privilege when you left her alone. I clutched the baby book tighter. Actions have consequences, remember? But I'm in therapy. I'm working a real job, living with roommates, paying you back. Doing the bare minimum doesn't make you a hero, Livia. Is that Aunt Livia? Sasha's small voice came from behind me. Before I could stop her, she squeezed past me to the doorway. Livia's face lit up, but Sasha stepped back, pressing against my legs. You left me alone, Sasha said quietly. Livia knelt down. I know, sweetie. I'm so sorry. I was scared. I was wrong, very wrong, but I'm trying to be better. Why did you take Mommy's money? The simple question seemed to hit Livia harder than any adult confrontation. She sat back on her heels, mascara starting to run. Because I was selfish and stupid and a very bad aunt. And my necklace, I added, the one from Grandma? Because I wanted what you had. Livia's voice was barely a whisper. Your strength, your independence, your daughter's love. I thought if I took your things, I'd somehow take your life too. That's not how it works, Sasha said, with all the wisdom of a 5-year-old. You can't take people's lives. You have to make your own. Livia's sob echoed in the hallway. When did you get so smart? Mommy teaches me things, like how to be brave and how to tell the truth. I pulled Sasha closer, protective and proud. Can I show you something? Livia pulled out her phone, hands trembling. She pulled up a website, her new blog. The latest post was titled, My Journey to Rock Bottom, How I Lost My Family's Trust. I'm writing about everything, she said. The real story. No more lies, no more excuses. Just truth. I scrolled through the post. It was raw, honest, ugly in its self-reflection. She'd included screenshots of her previous social media lies, followed by detailed corrections. Mom and Dad haven't seen it yet, she continued. I wanted you to see it first, because you deserve the truth before anyone else got it. My phone buzzed. A text from Todd. Check your email, now. I opened my inbox to find a forwarded message from my company's HR department. Livia had sent them a long email, explaining how she'd almost sabotaged my promotion by spreading lies, apologizing for any damage to my reputation. I sent those to every place I bad-mouthed you, Livia said quietly. Your gym, Sasha's school, everywhere. I'm owning all of it. Why now? Because my therapist said healing starts with honesty, and because... She looked at Sasha. Because I want to be worthy of being her aunt someday. Sasha tugged at my sleeve. Mommy, can we show Aunt Livia my new dance? The one from class? I hesitated, studying my sister's face. The designer makeup was gone, replaced by exhaustion and something else. Humility, maybe. Real humility, not the performed kind. 5 minutes, I said finally. In the living room, where I can see you both. Livia's smile was watery but genuine. Thank you. As Sasha excitedly pulled her aunt inside, chattering about dance class, I sent a quick text to Dad. Check Livia's blog. I think she might be actually changing. His response came quickly. Actions speak louder than words, but words are a start. I watched Sasha demonstrate her dance moves, Livia clapping with genuine enthusiasm. The sight stirred complicated emotions. Hope, wariness, a reluctant softening. Again, Sasha demanded, and Livia laughed. A real laugh, not her usual practiced tinkle. Maybe Dad was right. Words were just a start. But for the first time since this all began, it felt like an honest one. The autumn wind scattered leaves across my parents' backyard as I watched Sasha help Dad rake them into piles. Inside, the sounds of dinner preparation filled the kitchen, where Mom was teaching Livia how to make Grandma's secret recipe stuffing. First time she's trusted Livia with that recipe, Todd remarked, joining me at the window. Progress? Small steps. I handed him a mug of coffee. But real ones. Livia had stuck to her word over the past months. Weekly payments from her coffee shop job, consistent therapy sessions, honest blog posts about her journey. She'd even started a support group for other people working to rebuild family trust. The doorbell rang, Khalil arriving with his famous pecan pie. As he set it on the counter, Livia looked up from her stuffing duties. "Hey," she said softly. I read your comment on my latest blog post about enabling behavior and family dynamics. It helped." "Good," Khalil replied. "Because you've got a lot of readers now. People need to hear this stuff." "Speaking of hearing things," Mom interjected, "Violet, tell them your news." I smiled, fingering the business card in my pocket. The promotion came with an unexpected bonus. They're starting a new department, and they want me to head it. That's amazing. Livia's genuine enthusiasm still caught me off guard sometimes. Wait, isn't that what you always wanted? Leading your own team? It is. I watched her carefully. No flash of jealousy, no subtle undermining, just pride and excitement. "Mommy!" Sasha burst through the back door, leaves in her hair. "Can Aunt Livia help me with my science project tomorrow? She knows all about plants from the coffee shop's garden program." I caught Livia's hopeful glance. She hadn't asked to be alone with Sasha since that day, respecting my boundaries without complaint. "How about we all work on it together?" I suggested. After Aunt Livia's shift, Livia's eyes welled up, but she quickly turned back to the stuffing. Dad came in, brushing leaves from his jacket. "Found something while raking," he said, pulling out a tarnished tiara, Livia's old Halloween costume crown. "Remember this?" "The golden child's crown," I said without thinking. The kitchen went silent. Livia stared at the tiara, then slowly picked it up. "I was never golden," she said quietly. "Just really good at faking it, and really scared of being seen for who I really was." She handed the tiara to Sasha. "Here, sweetie, for your dress-up box." "But it's yours," Sasha said, confused. "Not anymore. I don't need crowns or designer clothes or other people's things to feel special." Livia smiled at me. "Sometimes you have to lose everything to find yourself." "Deep thoughts from the coffee shop philosopher," Todd teased, but kindly. "Hey, you should see the tips I get when customers read my blog on their laptops," Livia laughed. "Turns out authenticity pays better than pretense." Mom wiped her hands on her apron. "Dinner's almost ready. Violet, will you help me set the table?" As we laid out plates and silverware, Mom touched my arm. "I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. The damage we did by playing favorites." "Mom?" "No, let me finish." Watching Livia now, really watching her, I see how our enabling hurt both of you. But seeing you two heal, watching you set boundaries while still leaving room for growth. She squeezed my hand. "You taught us all something about real love." The doorbell rang again. This time it was my old babysitter, coming to return a book she'd borrowed. Livia immediately went to apologize for taking her job that day, launching into a conversation about responsibility and growth. "She does that a lot now," Sasha observed, helping me fold napkins. "Says sorry to people." "Is that good or bad?" "Good, because she means it." Sasha arranged the napkins carefully. "And she doesn't try to be perfect anymore. She's just Aunt Livia." From the kitchen came laughter. Livia had apparently spilled stuffing on her coffee shop uniform. Instead of crying about designer clothes ruined, she was joking about adding stuffing barista to her resume. "Dinner's ready," Mom called. "Everyone wash up." As we gathered around the table, family, friends, and reformed sisters, I realized something. The story wasn't about revenge anymore. It wasn't even about justice. It was about growth, about the painful, beautiful process of becoming real. Livia caught my eye across the table and mouthed, "Thank you. Not for forgiveness or acceptance, but for something harder, the chance to earn back trust, one honest moment at a time." I nodded, passing her the stuffing she'd helped make. Sometimes the best endings aren't about perfect resolution, but about finding the courage to write a new story together. Even if that story starts with a security camera and a stolen emergency fund. Even if it takes losing a crown to find your true worth.